Well, hello and good afternoon to Clarity TV. I'm Barbara, still Barbara, and this is Janice, still Janice.
Hello. I'm laughing because if only the camera went on about 30 seconds ago to see what we were doing.
We were talking about bingo wings.
We were talking about leg muscles,
yeah,
posture,
and
how to
posture
stand
and
up.
back and aging.
It's important though.
It is. It's really important. So here we are, and it's starting to heat up. And then just
Yes.
as I went live, she said, "Do we need a fan?" We got loads of fans.
Hey, very good. How are you, Barbara? How's your day been so far? You've been
Absolutely
busy.
brilliant. We've had a
I've seen
really
you
good time. Yeah.
Up and down that corridor.
Lots to do before I go on holiday on Monday.
I know, how exciting.
And on Sunday, we've got a huge launch at 3 to 5 because it's our 10-year Groovy anniversary.
Yeah, of course
Remember
it
we were
is.
talking about
Yeah, we
it?
spoke about it, didn't we?
So we're just crossing the T's and dotting the I's and what have you.
Busy.
Yeah, be all right though.
Yeah.
But today's today.
Yes.
And we are here with you. We're really
Yes.
glad to have your company.
Oh.
And we feel flattered that you've come all the way down from up north.
Thanks for inviting me. Midlands. Let's not get too excited.
Okay, Middle England.
The land that time forgot.
Middle England.
Yeah, we've got dinosaurs and everything there. It's brilliant.
It's a very nice part of the earth.
It is, because that's where most of my stamps come from. The Midlands.
Where the great football teams come from.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so Janice has come down because little did you know, but she is a very talented artist and designer, and she has given us the opportunity to make her art into stamps.
Yeah.
And stencils soon to come.
And stencils soon to come. Yeah. That's not easy for me to say. But yeah, I mean, when I was thinking about bringing artwork out, you know, I thought of Clarity and the precision that I needed for the photographs that I take, because it's something a bit different, isn't it? How do you get a photograph into a stamp? And my word, oh my goodness, some of them, every single blade of grass is there. And that's what really astounded me when I came down for the first collection.
I remember.
And I saw the stamps. I was lost for words. I couldn't speak.
But I have to say also that the team here, we love working with your artwork.
Yes, yeah.
You know, there is that as well. Yeah. So this is the latest collection.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to explain it because you're better at it than me.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll show you one at a time.
Yeah, good.
I'll show you one at a time.
I think that's a great idea.
Here's the first one. So we've got some really nice stamps here. I think, Barbara, these are a great size. I love doing miniature cards, but with these you can also extend it out, and you could, let's say, do one stamp but do it 4 times in different colours. So there's lots of scope here.
Yeah,
or use some of them together. But these are all photographs that I've taken, and most of them are within 5 meters of my house. So these two here were taken on the same rooftop. It's a listed building, and I just found this particular rooftop chimney pot
beautiful, isn't
beautiful.
it?
That's the little robin that comes to my garden, and that's the crow that comes to our garden. So this is where they sit and watch and wait for us to take the food out to them.
Nice.
This I took when I was watching TV. So I looked out my window, little Jenny Wren on the fence.
Fabulous.
And I love the way that the angle of the fence, and she's so proud. You see with the tail up.
See, it's a fence now.
Yeah.
It is.
It's the
fence.
I get
it.
And she was on top of that, standing proud. This is a plant that I have in my kitchen, but it was a shadow on the wall. So that's not the plant, it's a shadow, and I love that. This is opposite me on a rooftop. The 3 magpies also come to my garden, and that's the top of a tree. But these are 2 stamps, so you can use them separately.
Yeah.
These were on the wire that runs from the telegraph pole to my house.
Fantastic.
Yep, so that's them. And this was on a dog walk with Millie. You'll know that I've got a fascination with rooftops and birds.
Absolutely fantastic. Because we're always looking up, as you say.
So that's 12170.
That's it. That's for that particular set. But of course, they're available in a bundle. But our Paul's in the room with yourselves. And you can see here, he's loaded it up onto the screen for yourselves. And this is a big bundle with everything that we're showing you and a free set of postcards. And if you take the whole bundle, there's a very good savings of £6.50 plus, of course, your club discount. And if you're a Diamond member, then you'll end up only paying £46.71 for everything that Janice is showing you.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's very good.
That is very good. These are the frames.
I love these.
I do. I've always wanted
to
have a film frame.
The thing about stamps is you can repeat stamp this.
Yes.
So you can actually make a whole like family. Can I just turn it around like that?
Yeah.
So you could have your whole, mum and dad, sister, brother, You could make a whole family album with that.
With this one and this one, the other
Mhm.
day I was just having a little practice and I used them to interlink. So I made smaller squares with them. These two work perfectly
Excellent.
for that.
Yeah,
And did a little bit of doodling in between.
Lovely.
So that's something I want to work on. This one I love because this one came about because I was taking an ink pad, taking that off, and then stamping the ink pad down, leaving a square, leaving a kind of texture like that.
Yeah.
But you can see there, that one isn't on properly. And these aren't see-through, so I couldn't
Position it right.
position it right. So that is going to give you that great effect. And that one, of course, you can use together.
Yes.
Because you've come up with some great. May I show these?
Yeah, please do.
Because these are fabulous. So if you use them with your oxides,
you can see here when you come in a little bit, you get the most beautiful. Oh, let's go in a bit further. Here we go.
oh, this way. That's it.
Yeah. So you can see when you lay it down, there you go, it will find its place. And if you add it, because we're using oxides, if you add a bit of water, then you can get that lovely,
Looks amazing.
misty.
I don't know if anyone else can see that, but I can see a skull. Can you see a skull there? Look, 2 eyes, a nose,
Oh,
and there's the mouth.
yeah.
How spooky. How spooky. But yeah, look at that. I mean, that is a wonderful background, and any of the stamps will work on that beautifully.
Straight on top.
Yep, straight on top, and that's it.
That's all
Great
you
little
need to
quick
do.
makes.
Yeah, they
great
are.
little quick makes.
This is what I would call an essential set of little stamps.
Yeah.
Because it works, especially if you're into the mini makes. Let me just come out a little bit. Especially if you're into the mini makes, then these are great. If you take part in the ATCs every month with us,
perfect.
this is a fantastic
Little tags
way.
as well.
And because of the way that they are square, then of course the next set
the
tees
sentiments
up
would work
perfectly.
beautifully inside there. So this is the first time I've had a stamp set with sentiments. I thought it was about time I did that.
Yeah.
There are sentiments on some of the stamp sets,
That's
but
right.
I wanted a set to use with maybe some of the other
And
stamps
they're a
you
good
have.
size as well. You know, they're a good size if you compare them with the text on the. I think these are amazing. This was the demo that you did this morning.
Yeah.
Love this.
This is all my artwork. So these are
Yeah.
all paintings that I did at home. I call them quickies. I used to do a quickie before I was cooking dinner.
Yeah.
And then I just think, oh, I need to be creative. And I just got my paintbrush
nice.
and
Really lovely.
did some artwork. But changing them into stamps, they look amazing. They
Yeah, they
really,
do.
really do. And then that leads us on to the people. Now, with this, Barbara's added some legs, which is fine. But I just want you to,
yeah.
so
I did.
just to let you know that one, the legs have been added. I don't know what
we
we've
did
done
that.
with the...
I don't know where that is, but
Oh, well.
oh,
it
you
doesn't
mean the
matter.
stamps themselves?
Yeah, just to show.
They are there.
There you go. There
So
you go.
What I did was I just added the legs for
There you go,
fun.
which I think is brilliant.
Yeah, so you
And a
can see-
balloon. And a balloon. So you can do that. But I love these because
Yeah.
these just add scope to all kinds of different, you know, stamps, mini makes.
Absolutely
different
incredible
designs.
artwork, really.
Thinking-
I'm in love with this
Oh,
this kind of artwork.
yeah,
It's just
they're beautiful,
so,
aren't they?
for landscapes.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous. And you know, your design team, that you've really hit the,
Oh, yeah.
the jackpot with these people.
Glynis and Jenny have done such a wonderful job.
Yeah.
They really
and
have.
they're lovely. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Aren't they gorgeous?
Mhm.
Just friendship, family,
Yeah.
togetherness. I just think it's wonderful. You can have a whole chain of people together.
Yeah.
It kind of do you remember the Coca-Cola advert? I like to
I'd
teach the world
like to teach
the world to sing. That's it.
in
That's what it
perfect
reminds me of.
harmony.
I love
Yeah,
that.
It's
love
really
that.
good.
Yeah.
And your good news about the not the Scouts, the
yeah.
Girl Guides.
I could not believe that. So
Wasn't that lovely?
Clarity Sue came in this morning and she says, right, I've got to tell you this. I've just been on the phone to one of the Girl Guide leaders
Mhm.
and there's a convention coming up next weekend or a weekend after. It's 500 Girl Guides going and they've bought my stamps to do ATC cards and show all the girls because of, I guess it's the imagery of them, isn't it?
Isn't
It's
it?
the
all holding
togetherness.
hands and
Yeah.
the togetherness. Yeah.
Oh, isn't that
So it's
lovely?
very beautiful. And you know, we have a stamp. We have a stamp at Clarity which would work, and a lot of you will have the stamp that says "Make Art Not War." We
Oh.
brought it out with a sunflower when
Yeah.
the Ukraine crisis
right.
started,
Yes.
and it says "Make Art Not War,"
Yeah.
and that would work so beautifully
that would actually.
with these stamps. It would just
Well,
sit
that's why
look at that.
this, it's a really simple technique and I came across it by accident actually. You might be surprised to know how I did it.
Go on, I want to know.
Okay,
now.
right. You know your moon masks?
Yeah.
Okay. It's just
Okay.
ink on top of the moon mask, on
Right.
top of the moon mask,
Yeah.
and turn it over and use it like
So
as
the
a
sticky
print.
side down.
Yeah. So I put the moon mask on,
Yeah.
and there was I put some ink on it,
Yes.
spritzed it with water,
Yeah.
lifted it up,
Yeah.
or put
Stuck
the
it on
card
your
on top.
finger.
Yeah.
Doesn't that look
And
fantastic?
now that looks like the world.
And if
Where
you
are we?
if you
There you
edged
go.
that with black
Yes.
and then took the Make Art Not War stamp, that would look really. It's about time, actually. I see that as a poster,
Yeah.
a mural, a mural.
A mural. That'll do.
Wouldn't that look amazing?
That does look nice. I
Make
like
Art
that.
Not War.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would look
love
really
it.
good.
Mhm,
Let's
mhm.
work on it. That's beautiful.
Let's work on it. Project.
So that is the set, but we've not finished there. Those are the stamps. If I bring those in,
Yeah.
because we also have something else
Ah.
I'm so excited about, and that is the mini postcards.
Postcards.
Oh my days! Let me get some of these in to show you, because these are in portrait mode. But look at these, aren't they wonderful? And this is using the frames,
Yeah.
but putting the images inside.
I know, and
I
so you
just
get
love
the images
these.
inside, and we established this morning that you can hot foil them
Isn't that
really
wonderful?
beautifully. We decided we are not going to show you how that worked. Foiling was on the 6th of June on our TV show. So if you wanted to go back on our website and see how this is done with these laser prints, it can be done very easily, and you can get the positive and the negative, you see, which is very, very lovely.
So here's the thing.
Mm.
That looks beautiful.
Mhm.
Would that now act as a resist?
Yeah, it would.
If I wanted to put some
So if you
watercolour on
wanted
there.
to do watercolor on that or add ink,
That look good.
dye-based ink, you can run over the top of that and
Yeah.
it will act as if it was embossed.
It's almost, I just feel like they were made for that particular
Yeah,
technique.
Very
I
lovely.
do love them. A little hole in the top of that, and it's a tag to go along with the card that you're making.
And those super new stamps that you've just done, they would
Yes.
sit on there absolutely perfectly
The
on that edge
sentiments.
there.
Yeah, they certainly would. Here they
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
So, but if you go to our TV on the 6th of June, you can scroll back. You can scroll right back on Clarity TV on our website to the 6th of June, and you will see when we launched the hot foil and how the process, how it works. And Paul will be on Hobbymaker on the 16th of this month with a brand new collection of the Jane Nesterenko prints.
I saw that in action at the open day. In fact, he used my postcards.
Yeah.
The larger postcards that are
Superb.
available, so it's always got to be laser print.
It's got to be a laser print.
They
That's
do
how
look
it works.
good. They're so easy. Have you got the foils as well?
We've got the foils, we've
Yeah.
got the kit, we've got the foiling machine, we've got everything.
Imagine
Yeah.
them in a little pack. I
So lovely.
absolutely adore these. Absolutely love them.
They're so nice
Yeah,
to
they
use.
really are.
Easy to use. Yeah.
Even if I
So,
say so myself. However, right, okay. There is something though I'd like you to show,
oh yeah.
because I clocked something when I came in this morning.
Right.
And I was like, oh, I'd love to know how to do that, because it takes the postcards, the little ones. And can I show?
Yeah,
Can
of
I
course.
show?
Yeah, I think I've got everything I need to do that.
Okay.
All I need is a postcard and a stamp, so
Yeah.
that won't be hard.
Right.
Okay, so let's have a look.
Right, let's bring these over here. I look.
Right.
Do you know what these remind
Let's come
me
in a
of?
bit closer then, so we can have a look at
Do you remember Hammer House of Horror?
them. Yeah.
Do you remember those like 1970s sort of
You're not
BBC
selling
dramas?
It.
No,
You're
but
not
that kind
selling
of
it,
that
Janice.
spooky 1970s drama. Do you know what I mean? Those
Yeah.
ones that are shot naively. There's just something about these
Yeah.
that reminds me of that.
Well, the gig, I suppose, the trick is to be using the aperture, especially the one with the open sky, and then like that.
So this was the postcard or the stamp?
So this is the postcard,
and then
from
you just
that
chopped
set.
it off on the bottom and used the sentiment.
So the postcard is the base.
Yep.
Like that. Do you want me to show you
Would you?
rather than you guess?
Do you mind?
Right, swap places then.
Okay.
Swap places, and I'll show you how we
Okay.
do this then. So we'll pan out a little bit.
Yeah.
And
I love the
then-
colours you've used in those
Do
as well.
you?
Yes, I do.
So I've used these are dye-based inks to do this job. If you use if I use an oxide,
yeah.
then it sits on top. It's quite chalky, isn't it?
Ah, okay.
Right.
So,
So
this is
this
something I need to
soaks
know.
it in.
Right.
So that's the same principle with the bow. Well, I'll show you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with these. Right.
Okay.
For example, I'm going to stick with those colours. Then I'm going to use my box. See, I got my little box.
Oh, look.
Yeah, I know. I really got into this kind of look. I like it a lot. And so I've got my stamps in there. See, I've got my stamps, I've got my postcards.
Oh, look at that. Yours
Yeah, I
nice.
love it. I love it because it sits really nice on the shelf.
Do you sell those separately?
Has the Pope got a balcony?
I think I might have to fill
Actually,
my
we've got a
basket
Pope.
before I leave.
There you go. Look, 31382. These are beautiful slow down boxes. Look, magnetic, very classy, aren't they? They're good. And they sit really nicely. So I have them now. I've started using
Yeah,
these. So with all the mini makes, this
Yes.
to me is a mini make.
Yeah.
So I've got a whole shelf at home. When I do the shack, you'll see it behind me. And I put on there like the little wreath,
Yeah.
the little landscape, the
Yeah.
masks. I put them all on, and yours has joined the shelf.
Isn't that
'cause it's,
good?
yeah.
I like that.
So I like that.
Very good.
I like that a lot. So there you go. So if we
Okay.
go back to what we're doing, the first thing we want to do is grab the stamps, which I just had, right?
Yeah.
So we've got the stamps. We'll keep it simple. I've got the postcard. I'll
Yep.
pick the postcard out from there.
Do you want a piece of paper to go underneath? Are you okay?
Oh, I could use a bit of that yellow paper.
Okay.
Just don't need it, but yeah, let's just do that so you can see it. Right, that's better. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stamp over the top of that. So what I'm going to use, here
I'm
we
just going to
go.
get a drink of water while you're doing that.
All right, darling. So what we're going to use is spot on sponges, which we also have on the show. Let me just grab them and I'll show you. So we've got a set of 4 spot on sponges.
Mhm.
These are ideal. You can see you get 1 pack, 16 pieces, or you can get 4 packs, right? I use these all the time.
Rather than a brush.
For smaller areas,
Yeah.
these are, and
Yeah.
and more control. So you
Excuse
got
me.
water, love?
Yeah, I've got water.
So these are great for when you want to get into the detail
Yeah.
or you want to intensify the color. The brushes will give you a lovely kind of a sweeping ombre.
Yeah,
Right.
got you.
These I can get in. And also if you're using stencils, when you start using the stencils, you'll find these are great for pouncing into the little tiny openings on the
In the air, so
stencils.
I'm going to get some more water.
Okay, love,
It's the
you do
heat.
it. You do it. Is it the heat?
Yep. It'll be gone in a minute. My eyes will water
Yeah.
and then it goes. And
Well,
I'll
you
lose my
carry on,
voice.
Just you
I'm
carry
not
on.
crying.
I'll just do. You relax. Look, I'll tell you what. I'll take my handbag off there. You sit down, love. Give
No.
yourself a break.
It'll go in a minute.
It's all too much, isn't it?
I think it's like an allergy, and then all of a sudden it goes and I'm fine. It's weird, isn't it?
You sit down, sure. But it's on wheels, so let's not have a Kodak moment. It would take your mind off the
Legs
sore
akimbo.
throat.
No, I'm good now. It's gone. See? I'm all right.
So what we've got is the stamps. We've got that. We've got a couple of ink pads. Now, if I remember rightly with this, I didn't want it to be too green. Okay. But what I'll do is I'll have a piece of card,
Yeah.
the same card as I'm stamping on. You know, you were saying earlier about the quality of the card.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, right, I had some of your 4x4 cards to make with, which were beautiful because I think half the confidence for me is having the right tools.
The 4x4 is nice, isn't it?
Yeah. And I ran out. So
Okay.
I didn't have time to
You're
get
right.
some sent over. Yeah. So I went out and bought some. And my goodness, did I know the difference.
Yeah.
They
I
weren't
understand.
they weren't cut properly. They were thin.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. You know, the thing is that the cards that we use, like the 3.5 by 3.5
yeah.
or the 4x4,
Yeah.
if you choose to stamp straight on to the card,
Yeah.
it's the same as this.
Yeah.
It's the same quality.
Yeah.
So it's always using, we call it stencil card, but really we need to change the name of it. It's for printing, for ink, for
Yeah.
paint, for water. It can take,
And it does work really
it
well.
works really well, and it stamps beautifully because it's
Yeah.
quite fine. It's quite a fine grain. So let's say now, actually, I'll tell you what I'll do so that you can see what I'm doing. Rather than use one of those, I'll use a flats. I'll use a flats. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll use a flat mount so that you can see what I'm doing. And if I take, for example, I'll take some green, and we can see what we're going to do. So if I take the ink pad,
Yeah.
and I do this, like watch, it's quite
Why do you not take it? Why do you not do it from the ink pad to that then?
well. Let's have a look at the difference. If I do
Okay.
that,
Yeah.
it's a good question. If I do that, you can get different. I think it's worth seeing what you can do to change. So that now
Nice.
is just taking the ink and using the sponge as an applicator.
And you didn't put a lot on there.
No, not at all. So you make a kind of a mushroom like that.
Yeah.
And then you, see if I go, so the other thing that what people do is they take the ink pad,
Yeah,
they do that.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what you often see.
Yeah.
Right. So let's do that. With an ink pad that's quite juicy, let's check out the difference. So now we'll take that one and we'll stamp that into place and we'll look at the difference. So it's a lot wetter and it's a lot darker.
Yeah.
Now, where do I want to be? Do I want to be somewhere in between that? Maybe I don't want it that green even. Right? It's a little bit green,
that is
isn't
like
it?
2 different colours that you've used there, but
It
you're
is.
just using less. Got you.
So let's try something else. There's no reason. Let's add a little bit of black and see if we can dull it down. We'll use it on here and then we'll see. So let's say I take a bit of green, like that. I'll use a bit of green.
So that's dye.
That's the dye-based ink, yeah.
Okay.
And then I've got my sponge, and so I can spread that out on there. I could do it 6 1 half dozen the other, whether I go like that. So let's do a bit of that. Maybe I want to dull it down a little bit. What happens if I go into the black ink pad now and I add a little bit of black? Let's just see. I don't know, it might be rubbish, but we'll give it a go. Let's see. It might be too black now.
Was the black ink based as well?
No, the black is archival. See, so it's changed it again. Do you see how it's greyed it down a bit? It's going to change.
Look at that. Yeah, you can really see on the screen.
You can see on the screen, can't you? But you see the difference.
Gosh.
So now I've got a bit of control. I've got a lot more control over the inks than I think I have, than you think you have.
Do you know
and
what?
It's all about that little sponge.
That would make a really cool card, doing it different shades of the green without even using 4 different green ink pads. That's interesting.
So say we take the card again, right? It's all about play. Do you know, it's all about play. The reason I know this is because 1, I've been doing it for 30+ years, but 2, because I play, I check, I have what if, I play what if. So ink, yeah. Let's go blot. See what happens if we blot. Okay, so that's another thing worth noting. When what's missing there will come in here. So it's always different effects. Let's come in a bit closer and let's check out the different types. So you can see it's quite blistery if you don't blend it. If I turn it over though, look how much smoother that is on the screen.
And that's using the sponge to blend it in.
The sponge is the key to all of this.
Interesting. Right, that's going in my basket.
Right, let's do this then. So we'll go there, we'll take this, and now I can decide which one do I want to go. I think I'll probably go with that third. Should we go with the third option?
What green is it you're using, Barbara?
It's Rustic Wilderness.
That's nice.
It's called it Rustic Wilderness. You could take any one of these greens. So we'll go like that, right? And then I'm going to use my spot on sponge. I tell you what, let's use a fresh end, fresh side. Okay, do you all right there?
Yeah.
So then I'm gonna go in there, blot that out a little bit, and then I'll go in there. I'll go in the black now and just add maybe a little shadow up that side, just on one side. See what happens if we just do one side. Never know what's going to happen.
And again, we're using the dye-based ink because we don't want it really to go over the black laser.
That's it. And then we're going to press that in there like so. And let's see, we should get a really good green on that side. Let's see what happens. So we press that in there. It should work quite well. There you go. So you can see, if we look at that, where I've used a little bit of black to tone it down a bit, where the green is a bit darker.
Do you know what? I've learned so much just with that little lesson, because when I've stamped before, like on the postcards, I've left a little bit of residue on the laser print. And I didn't know why. And it's because I was using an oxide ink.
Right, there you are.
So now I use...
So when you use the chalky ones, it leaves a little...
it does.
It sits on top.
Yeah.
So that's worth noting. So now we've done that, but let's have a look at what have we done to change. So we've got that. We've added a little bit of grayscale on that side. So I'm going to grab a paper towel. There we go. And just in case you need it. Okay. Right, so I've got that. Okay. And then, so now I've cleaned that off. I don't need it anymore. So I'll take that off. I'll put it back on its little home base, because that's a really useful thing to have. Now, if I want to change the outside bit, right, good housekeeping is always the thing about the distress inks and that. Right, just for those of you who are new to the game, right, let's look at these 2 ink pads. You can see at a glance, these are black.
Yeah.
That's the distress ink. Distress oxide's got grey around the outside, so you can always see at a glance which is which. So when if you're in your cupboard, and because they're not attached, if you've got that, you cruising for a bruising. Do you see what I mean? But because they're not attached, what you do have to do is look at the back. Right, rustic wilderness. Just make sure that the front, because often I find, especially with these, how are you going to know really?
Yeah.
You know, which, especially if your eyesight's not what it should be. Right, so now we've got this one. We've done that. Let it dry a little bit, which is why I was waffling a bit.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a question. We're
Go
going to do
on.
the background now,
Yeah,
which is the blue.
yeah.
Would you always do the main feature first and the background afterwards? Or would you do the background first and then put the main feature in? Does it not matter?
6 1 half dozen
Yeah,
of the other,
okay.
to be honest, Janice. But if I just, what I am going to do now is use my low tack tape.
I love
You know, you
this.
were saying, yeah, it's
Oh,
good
see,
stuff.
it is. I've used the amount of cards I've ruined because I've used
The
the
wrong
wrong
tape.
tape, or it's not been the right tape in the sense that it doesn't even stick
Yeah, I know.
because there's low tack
Too
and
low,
there's no tack. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. So so now we've got that, and now I'm going to go with a different colour for the sky.
Yeah.
You know what you were saying about putting a moon in?
Yeah. Could do.
Could do, but I'm just going to keep it simple.
Yeah.
And I'll take another. So this is it, you see. I'm using that. I'll use that again and again and again. It's my green one.
Yeah.
Right. Now I've got a blue one.
Okay.
So this is where less is more. You can always add it, but you can't take it away. So you're going to make a little mushroom like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you take your ink from there.
Ink
See?
based as well.
Dye-based ink
Yeah.
again. And then I'm going to put it on there, right? And then I'm going to sweep in. So where I'm starting is way over the edge. Look, I'm right up here.
Yeah.
So by the time I hit the paper, hit the card, I'm already coming back up again. See?
Yeah.
So it looks really nice.
Mm.
So here, again, I'm going to go up there, and then I'll sweep in from that corner. So now I'm establishing the edge.
Yeah.
So if I want to do a little bit at the top, see, I've got a lot of control. So I can go like that, and then I can be right up there, look. Oh, so when I sweep in, it's lighter.
Yeah.
If I want it to be darker, you know what I was saying? If you pounce like that, it gets darker. It just gets more intense. Now,
Yeah.
you couldn't get that depth if you were using a brush. You couldn't
Yeah.
get that. So down here, I know you said, Coy, I really like the blue coming
Yeah.
through the back. So here, I'm just going to take that blue and bring it in like that. That's it. Look. So you just take the blue and you bring it in from the.
And that's not left that chalky over the black.
No.
See, I couldn't work that out this
See?
morning when I saw that. I was like, how have you done that?
So that's how you do that. It's that simple. So it's that easy. And then you take all these bits and you can use them again and again. And when you remove, of course, when you remove the masking tape, so
I might
You're
do this
doing
on a
this.
live another time. Would you
well,
mind?
no, I think
love
it's great.
this.
It's very easy to do. You take these bits with you.
Yeah.
See? So now you've got yourself, and if you wanted to, I mean, if I wanted to add a bit more depth there,
Yeah.
right, then I should always kind of keep the masking tape in place. Because if I do this and it goes over see, but it didn't. It's
took
fine.
the
So it's just dark.
So what
it's
was the
just
chimney
taken
pot is now a castle.
Exactly. It's taken the edge. See what I mean?
That
and now
I do
it's,
like
but it
that.
hasn't distracted from
Yeah.
the. So it's just what you always
Reminds
do.
me of
You
the old
look up.
Technicolors. You know the
Mhm.
Technicolor postcards. The
Yeah.
old sort of 90. I absolutely love that.
So that's it, really, in a nutshell. That's it. It's that simple.
Wow.
Okay.
I love that. I
God,
love that.
It just got hot in here, didn't
Yeah,
it?
it did. I love that. That is brilliant.
There you go, love.
So I've learnt now to use the right inks, which is Distress or an ink over an
Yes.
oxide. So I've learnt
Yeah,
that. Just
that's
need to remember
important.
it.
Yeah.
And also the spot on sponges
Very important.
onto the stamp,
Yeah.
or flick on, flick on, flick on.
Yeah.
See?
And the other thing is, if I give you that to take home,
Yeah.
you'll remember immediately. Oh, blending. You just write it in,
Yeah.
and everybody should have this sort of thing.
An
And then
index
with a little,
card.
and just right, sponge straight to. It's called
Yeah.
direct to paper.
Yeah.
DTP. That's what that is. I
Yeah.
know desktop publishing. We
Yeah.
always used to. I know when it started, somebody was on telly
Yeah.
saying about DTP, and I thought desktop publishing. Direct to paper.
Brilliant.
Right, that's direct to paper, and this is
That's
a
a good
blend of those
idea.
two.
See, that's a good idea.
So, and then you write that down, and then you've got your stash, and you just or you write on the back what color you used, because you can bet your bottom dollar that you won't remember it was broken china
Yeah.
and a rustic wilderness.
Yeah.
You know, but if you write it on the back of that, then you'll know.
But also, just that's taught me more about ink than I've learned in 2 years. To be fair, because sometimes I can't absorb that information unless I see it in action.
And you watch
and now I get
Yeah.
that. And now I get that.
Cool.
There you go.
There you go.
Right.
Should we swap?
Let's do. Which way you going? Okay.
Good.
Right.
Over to you,
I'd like
Virgil.
to do a pattern build if that's okay.
I think it's
really
a great idea.
very simple, very easy.
And I'm going to put the fan on because it's getting suddenly it got ridiculous.
All
in
of a
here.
sudden you'll hear Barbara.
So I'll put my little stash away.
Okay, right.
Okay.
So I'm going to take one of the small cards here, which is the 4x4 or 3x3. I'm not good with measurements.
3.5 by 3.5.
3.5 by 3.5. That'll do. That'll do. So I'll tape it down so it keeps nice and still, because again, something else you learn. There you go. So that's just taped down so it stays in place. And I am going to use one of your, well, I'll use mine, Mega Mounts. So let's grab this and let's go for my stamp that is, I can't remember what plant it is now. It's either a fern or...
So what is it you're going to do?
I'm going to, well,
Oh,
I was playing with these yesterday
Yeah.
and something became quite obvious to me.
okay, excellent.
I'm going to use VersaFine Claire
Yeah.
just because
Yeah.
I've always used that. So I'll
Okay,
take that.
cool.
I'm just going to pop some ink on that. So instantly you can start to see, this is what I mean about your stamps.
Quality.
Look at every single leaf. It's amazing.
So when you do this, you're going to try and butt it up, or are you going to leave a little gap, like a little cross inside?
I don't know. Should we just have a go?
Yeah, go on.
So I'm going to put it down.
Do you want to come in a bit closer?
Yeah, can do. So I'm just going to do, I'm not going to measure anything as such, but I'm just going to put that down like that, okay,
Yeah.
to make it register. Okay,
Good.
so that should make a good impression.
You got quite a big mount there, haven't you, for a little stamp?
Yeah, I have, haven't I? But you know what I do, Barbara? I just use what I've got.
Yeah. I
So,
understand.
okay. So that's fine.
Perfect.
That's fine. So let's go again.
I'm going to make a top tip now.
Okay,
because
go on.
Pattern building was my middle name,
Go on then.
right? So the way you had it held,
Yeah.
right? Can I make a suggestion?
Go on.
Make the artwork come to you. Turn it round. So
Oh,
you're always
really?
holding it in the same way, and now you're just moving the artwork round. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you move
so
the
do
artwork
that,
round.
but keep this
Yeah.
here. Yeah. Got
So that way you just make the artwork come to you. So
Okay.
you're always holding it in the same way.
Okay. Actually, can I just put it back that way to do it this time?
Okay.
Only because I did this at home and then I know how to do it. If I do it the other I'll tell you a story about that in a minute. Okay. I find it easier to line it up just for this moment.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay,
Yeah.
you can see it better.
Just
can
for
you?
this moment. Okay, I'll tell you the story. I was asked once to go and get coffees for everybody in the shop where I worked. So I went over to the cafe and I got some coffees. And my memory's not the best. So somebody wanted milk, one sugar. Somebody wanted black, no sugar. Somebody wanted sugar, no milk, and all of that malarkey.
Yeah.
So I said, look, put them on the tray as they are. 12 o'clock, sugar, no milk. 3
Three.
o'clock, black, no sugar. 6
Yeah.
o'clock. So I did that and I picked the tray and I went, thank you very much. I gave the money. As soon as I turned around, everything just went out the window. I didn't know what was 6 o'clock and what was 12 o'clock. Right, let's lift that up. Oh, I see, I've left a gap there.
That's all right. That's all right.
I didn't want to leave the
Keep
gap
going.
though. Can I not start again?
No,
Why?
keep going, because it might be brilliant. And you've got your micron pen,
Oh, I know
and
what
you
I can
can
do.
always add a little bit of something
Yeah.
down the middle.
Yeah, of course I can. Of course I can. So let's just do that.
Nice.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
Actually, it looks nice
I
with that. Yeah,
know,
yeah,
I
yeah.
do love it.
So you're right. Don't
Yeah.
start again. Carry on.
You
because
keep
what-
going. Work with what you got. Work with what you got. Work
Yeah.
with what you got. You know, because you never know what you're gonna.
Is that the way I want it?
Yeah. No, that way.
No, no. No, it's
you
that
had it
way.
right.
Yeah, it's that way. It's that way, but I want to leave that gap. Hang on, here we go.
Don't overthink it.
There you go. Gently does it. There won't be a
Perfect.
gap now, will there?
I bet there is.
I hope so. Perfect. Well, that's okay.
Absolutely
That's
lovely.
okay, because like you say, I've got my micron pen
Absolutely
if I want to.
lovely. Yeah.
So what I like about this one, if I show you this one,
Yeah.
okay,
Nice.
I did it in green as well,
Yeah.
but imagine some red little berries.
Yes.
It could be Christmas.
So
That's what I
lovely.
was thinking.
Do you know, if you had a, you know, like sometimes on pencils they have the old eraser at the end, like a rubber, a
Yeah.
little round rubber.
Yeah.
Makes the most beautiful berries.
Yeah, drop, drop, drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good idea. So I've got this gap here and I've got this gap
Yeah.
here, but you'll see if I turn it, it doesn't really matter which way
No,
that goes.
no,
I could
not
put a
at all.
sentiment across
Straight
there,
across the middle.
straight across the middle,
Brilliant.
and then, like you say, get the micron pen, which I've got here. Let's just
Yeah.
take this one. And then you could just sort of move that over there.
Or dot it. Dot, dot, dot.
Or dot, dot, dot. If you just
That's
link
it.
those up. This micron pen's running out.
Let me give you another
You
one.
see, you wouldn't,
Yeah, I'll try mine on.
you wouldn't know.
No,
You
exactly.
You would not know
There you go.
that that wasn't stamped in such a way. And then I wouldn't do that because I'd probably put a
Oh.
sentiment. Now, I did have a sentiment that we
Yeah.
stamped and I put to one side.
Oh yeah, we did it this morning, didn't we?
But yeah, I could do
But
another
where
one.
is it? Do
I could
another
I
one.
could do another one.
Or you could
do
use a
another one.
sticker.
I could. Yeah, have you got a sticker? Actually, the
Sticker
stickers
would be
a
really
sticker would
nice,
be
wouldn't it?
perfect.
Well, stay there.
Okay.
1 minute. You
So-
keep talking.
So
I'll find the
this
sticker.
would work. Bring this one in again. Imagine the different colours. So Christmas time with a few berries on, for example. You could perhaps be a little bit more elaborate and go larger and make a wreath out of it, something like that.
You want black, really, don't you?
So
Do you
yeah,
fancy a black one?
we can do, depending on what background, I guess.
Did you want to go
Shall we
Christmas?
go? Not for this one.
Okay. Picky, picky, picky. All right then.
Because it's not green, I
Okay.
didn't want to put a Christmas one on. So,
Understand. So bear with me a second.
okay, okay. So I could use
Feel good factor.
Feel good factor. Yes, brilliant. Be the artist that you are.
Nice. So if we take that off there.
Let's see if that goes across the middle.
Absolutely
Oh, I think that's going
beautiful.
to be yes.
How's that look?
Straight
Oh,
across the
doesn't that
middle?
look great. Yes.
Straight across the middle like that.
Look.
Look at that.
I
That's
love
good.
it.
That's good.
I love it.
So we've
Look at
taken
that.
one thing. We've got that really nice image.
There,
There
it
you
is.
go. So here's the thing. I would normally, what I would do, because you know I'm still relatively new to stamping
Okay,
and
we're on
learning
the front camera now.
and learning
Yeah.
different techniques. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I would do with this, and I do like clean and simple cards, and that would make a really nice clean and simple card, especially if you're batch making,
Yeah.
making notelets or
I
something
really
like that.
like it.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I would probably then go, oh look, let's put that on a black background.
Bob's your uncle.
Bob's your uncle. But I think what I want to do,
Yeah.
and I'm not sure how to do. So can I ask you?
Go on then.
I'd like to use, you know, the inserts or the
Embedders.
yes, the embedders.
Yes.
Could I use them with this,
Yeah. Of course you could.
even after I've stamped it?
Yeah, absolutely. You need
Okay.
to. You need to. Well, I think it's best to stamp and then find the embedder.
Can we have a go?
Do you want to?
Yeah, go on. Go on.
Okay.
I just
Embedders.
think it will give it another dimension. I love it as it is, and I love that sticker
get
going
it.
over there.
Well, let me show you these embedders then.
Okay, do you want to
Right.
do?
Do-si do.
Yep.
Okay. So these embedders then, let's have a look at these. And I'll pan out a little bit so you can actually see them.
Yeah.
Yeah? So we'll take that.
Just
this
seen one
would-
of the comments actually. The stamp would work well as a
So
corner
well.
stamp and pattern.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually,
it would.
corners.
It would. If you took that one, right, I'm digressing now, right?
In fact, I did think about that. Is that
If I took that, look, I'll show you a trick, right, with the same stamp.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I do?
yeah? Please.
Right, so I'm gonna put it on that corner like that.
Yeah.
Right, and then we'll take just take that. Right, we'll just use what we've got in front of us.
Yeah.
So it's the same, but because I've mounted it on a mount.
Yeah.
Right, I can see that corner.
Yeah.
That's all I need to do. I need to be able to locate that in the corner like that. You
Got you.
hover with the handle.
Yeah.
And then you press on the corner, right, and you should get a really good look. See,
Now, here's the thing.
go on.
You know, if you were to cut that out in
Yeah.
not fussy cut each leaf,
No,
but actually cut
blade,
around it,
yeah.
blade round it,
Yeah.
stick
You
a
could use it as a
photograph.
photograph.
Yeah,
Absolutely
yeah,
fabulous.
Yeah.
So on that side, but you know what I was saying about, move the artwork,
Mhm.
right? So for me now, if I wanted to put one in that corner, for me to start turning like that,
Yeah.
I would be better off. I think it's from years and years of demonstrating to the camera, to the
Yes. Yeah,
or the
yeah.
person, right? So now I'm going to ink up the black again, right? But what I've done is I've turned the artwork. So see, instead of going like, I'm just move the artwork till
Yeah.
I'm happy. Always hold it in the same place. It's almost like tennis. You just hold the racket and then you just keep moving the artwork to touch. See?
Perfect.
Now, if I want it in that corner, then I'll go again. If I want it in that corner, I'll
I've
go
got
again.
another question. Sorry, I asked so many
No,
questions.
that's a very good.
You know how
Go
you're
on.
holding the little mount there?
The handle, yeah. Everybody holds it differently.
Oh, so it doesn't matter if I do it the other way around and
No,
do
no.
it like a push
lot
cart.
A lot of people hold it like that,
Yes. Yeah.
right? So you hover with the handle.
Yeah.
I could do that as well.
Yeah.
It's just whatever you do, you've got to decide, and then like, so you could hold it like that, but now the camera can't really see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I can see what I'm doing, which is the main thing.
Yeah.
So I could pop that one in there like that.
There's no right or
No.
wrong way of holding
So
those.
so
That does look nice.
Deborah Wheeler, she always holds it from the side like that. So
Interesting.
she wants to be able to see what's important with the positioning is that you can actually see the stamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't want the corner tucked in there so you can't see it. So you make sure that the corner's visible. See, and she holds it from the side like that. She holds it like that.
Got you.
You see? So she can see both sides now. So we've got all four.
That really looks nice.
Yeah. It's almost like you see some dancers in there or
Yeah.
some hot summer nights.
I'll
tell you what, now we're on it, I'm going to show you another trick.
I'll tell you something else as well.
Go
That
on.
is beautiful, but I've actually got a photograph that I'd like to make into a stamp,
Yeah.
and it's kind of it's looking up at some palm trees,
Is it?
and it's kind of that effect.
Let's see if
So-
see what this does. Let's just try this. So I've masked this off now, right? And I'm going to use, I don't know, it might be rubbish because I'm winging it here. But let's see what happens if we do that. Right? So if I take that away.
Nice.
Check that out.
Do you know what else it could be?
Doesn't that look lovely now?
Peacock tail.
Yeah.
Feathers. Oh, this is brilliant.
So you see how different that looks, and all from that little corner stamp.
Wow.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Love that.
That is brilliant.
So I just thought I'd throw that one in there before. I can't
I
remember
like
what we
that.
were supposed to be
I
doing.
don't know, but I just
Oh,
like
I know,
that.
the embedder.
Yeah. But isn't that fab?
There you go.
I really
So
like that.
put that in the
And
little
I
stash
think
as
again,
well.
little berries on that could be a Christmas card.
So nice.
Yeah.
So nice.
Oh, I've got so much to play with tomorrow. I'm so excited.
Nice. I love it when you come down because I honestly do believe. Right, I'm going to put the camera to us.
Okay.
Where are your stamps? Did you put them somewhere safe?
My stamps.
Yeah. So I've got this
just
one.
there.
There it is.
That's it.
See, I always put them away.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is I love it when you come down because I've always said in the chat, there are no experts in this
Yeah.
building.
Yeah.
And what I love when you come down, I know that the questions you genuinely want to know about,
Yeah.
right? I know that most people watching are going, yeah, I
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to ask that
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
How did you do that? How did you do
Yeah.
that? You know.
It's interesting.
So there are no experts here, you know, and I'm no expert. I've just got 30 years on you. That's all.
Yeah.
But that's all it is. It's just time and a little bit of application. But so they're your stamps.
Isn't that good?
And now we're going to go to
Embedders. So we're going to
embedders.
do the embedders.
Right, so I'll show you the embedders.
and we're going to
And
do it
where's
on
the
this
piece of artwork?
Here you go.
Yay.
I do like.
Okay, so let's have a look at the artwork. I want to show you the embedders and let's have a look at how logical they are.
Okay.
Right, and then
In the meantime, let me grab that because I've got another idea if you do that.
so I'll show you the embedders because these really do, they kind of are a great finishing trick. Okay, does that look good?
That
It
would look good as
does.
sorry everyone, as a surround.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if you trimmed this now,
Yeah.
cut that back, and then you could do that trick that you know when you said about
Yeah.
you could slot that in
Slot
there.
that in.
But this would need to be a little bit smaller.
It
But
would.
what a good idea! Look, doesn't that look nice as a
Yeah.
a frame, an edger?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It does, doesn't it?
it does indeed. We all love a clever corner, Paul Church is saying. Right, so these are embedders, and I'll show you the whole point of these nested ones because everybody's most people are familiar with the standard ones,
Yeah.
but the nested ones are good for small art
I've not seen
journeys.
these.
Ah, well, so what they are is it's like a double bubble. You got innie and outie.
Okay.
So I'll show you. Don't ignore my writing. I've just done that for my own, so that I can show you. See, when you put them together like that.
It's
Right,
like when you go for an eye test. This is.
there you go. Yeah. When you do that though, these are all different sizes. So if you look at the overlap or where the fold is going to be, that one's in between that one. This one's in between that one. You see, so you've got loads of different edges. So when you're looking at this one now, let's say, and you want that's got to be in the center. So it's a little bit off center, but that doesn't matter because we'll make sure that that this is in the right place. So that's a bit too small, right? So then we'll go to I think maybe it's going to be
number 2
or number 3. Let's try number 3, and that'll be exactly right.
Are we looking at the outside?
The outside.
Got you. Yeah,
You're looking at the outside.
Number 3.
So number 3, and then you ignore the fact. See, if you can't go in the middle of the card because the stamp's a little bit off.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do with pattern building, that's not a problem, right? So we're going to make sure that the actual artwork is in the center. We can always trim a sliver off those two sides, can't we? Then what we'll do, we'll take that low tack tape again, and we'll pop that on there like so, and then we're going to pop that on there like that. Now I want to show you something. Let me just see. I'm scanning my. Here it is. Here it is. Yeah, okay. I got this because this really does show off. When you're on the outside, let me show you this. Let's come in tight so you can see this. This is with the nested ones. This is where it changes a bit. When you're embossing on the outside, in a minute we're going to turn this over and do this. When you're on the outside, you get this. When you're on the inside, I'll show you exactly. When you're on the outside, you'll get that effect. When you go on the inside, you'll get the other effect. So let's do this one first, and then you'll understand what I mean. So I'm working on the outside of that one. I'm happy with the position, right? That's definitely in the right place. I'll turn that over. Now, somewhere here, there is that outside edge, right? So often people struggle to find that. Now, somewhere here, right, here we go. What do I need? I need a number 2 tool, and I also need, this is something that I've finally came up with the Nirvana, the best idea.
Okay.
Right, blending pen, blending nib. This one is reserved for just this job. So what I'm going to do is I find with the blending nib, you literally, I wonder if
you use a bone tool?
You could use a bone tool, right? But this one here, you can see exactly as I'm pressing. Can you see that?
I think so. Let me get my glasses
Let me see
on.
if you can see it. Oh, you can see it overhead.
Oh, yes.
Right? So you can see exactly, even though it's not in the middle, I can find it, and then I can push it in. So even if I go over the top, it doesn't matter. I'll find it, and you see it?
Yeah.
And it's giving me exactly, so that the blending pen is giving me that edge where I can see exactly where I'm at. And the other side of the blending pen, the nib that's inside the pen, is a bit harder. So if you're not sure, that works as well.
Perfect.
So that's a really good way of finding the edge without damaging the artwork.
Okay.
Then once you've got the edge, then it's easy to do this bit.
Okay.
So you're going to butt in now. You've got your edge now. You know where you're going.
What number is that from?
Number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2.
Okay.
Right. So you're going to go like that, and then you're going to go down. And then what I do is when I get to the bottom, I just go around the corner. Yeah. You have a go.
Okay.
Right. So you're right-handed, aren't you?
Yes.
So you're going to go the other way.
So I go from the top to the bottom.
Yeah. And you're going to dig in. And then when you get to the bottom.
Do it again.
Yeah. You could go as many times as you like. And then cut round the corner. That's it. You can see exactly where you're going, see?
It's having the confidence, isn't it?
Yeah, and then you turn it round, just like with the pattern building, and then you're going to go back again. That's it.
Down again.
Until you're happy with and then you do it again, and you can see you've already made the kind of the tram line for yourself with the nib. So that should work.
Should I turn it over?
Yeah, go on. And then you take that away, And there's your
Oh wow!
Do you
Maybe
see?
I could go a little bit harder on the two sides.
confidence. That's all it is. But you
Yeah.
can see you've got it exactly right. Isn't that lovely?
Doesn't that look
How classy
great?
does that look?
Can you do it the other way?
So if you were, let me
so
show
it
you this.
Stands
Yes.
up.
So if you wanted to do that, you'd have to do it from the back.
Okay.
But let's say if you've got this,
Yep.
all right, this is what I was saying. So if I pop that one down there, let me show you this.
Okay.
So say I was doing a really tiny piece of artwork,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I turn this one over, and I'll find my place, right? And this is just, you've got to, I mean, I've always used my thumb, and I
Yeah.
just push hard until I can feel it, right? But a lot of people seem to struggle with that. So this blending pen is just another easy solution.
I'm just going to go down here and grab this, because this is what I would wonder if I could use something like that.
A bone folder.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
scoring tool.
Yeah,
That's
you could
good.
use that as
So
well.
I've got that.
Right.
Excellent.
So then you're going to go in there and you're going to put your outside.
Yeah.
Right. So round you go. See, it's the more you do, the better you get at it.
Yeah.
The more confidence you
Yeah.
got. See, I thought that when I did this, I would
Go through the card.
or make this stick. Now in there as well, of course, there's a hole.
Yeah.
But let's say I don't want to use, it's not that small. I
Yeah.
want to use the next one in.
Okay.
So I could take that now, right? This is my point. So I'll take this one, and I'm going to make so we've established that's the outside.
Yeah.
So your question is, can I do an innie?
Yep.
Right. So I'm using, it's transparent. You
Yeah.
can see translucent at least. So I'm going to use the same masking tape now just to hold that in place. That's holding it in place. That's why it's got a hole in it. Right. And now I'm going to go in here. What you'll find is that the center, I've always found it easy. It's like with masks or with stencils. It's easier to go on the inside than on the outside.
Yeah.
So this is a piece of cake. Then you're going to take that and you're going to go on the inside. You try it.
Okay.
That's it. And then turn the art. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I just went
or
straight
not.
for it, didn't I?
Just the angle of the.
Yeah. Sorry, I did
That's
that.
all right. Don't apologise. This is the first time you've done it. But you'll see when you do that, you just kind of kiss the edge.
Yeah.
Right. And then lift it off.
Okay.
And then let's see what we've got. There.
Oh.
I know.
But
so cool,
how-
isn't it? See? So what you've got there is you've used, when you use the inside, you get that. And when you use the outside, you got that. So now check this out, right? And it's the opposite.
Gosh.
So here's just a different example. This is going, so once you understand with the nested embedders, you see, when you're going in, it protrudes,
Yeah.
it stands proud,
Yeah.
it debosses and it embosses.
Yeah.
And it depends entirely. If you're going from that side, it
Yeah.
depends. If you turned it round, then that is that side. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
Although I've done it on that side.
Do you always work from the back?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
I need to practice with that then.
But
I
it's
need to
such a
practice with that. That is
cool
so
finishing trick, you
good.
see. And so that there is
Yeah.
how you do that. And then wouldn't that look nice, just trimmed and
Yeah.
popped on there?
Doesn't that look great?
Yeah, it does.
And I think sometimes, when you're selling your cards, it makes the difference to the ones that people pick up and buy,
Oh, yeah.
because it makes them posh.
It's so classy.
Yeah.
And the embedder, it looks like, I mean, this is how we came up with the idea. It was because it looks like proper printmaking.
Yeah.
It's like when you go to shops and they've been run through an intaglio machine or some kind of print, printing press, then that's the kind of pressure
That's
that's
so clever.
is exerted.
I
It
love
looks
that.
good.
It's very clever.
So there you go.
Very, very clever.
And these nested square embedders, you keep them in the packet,
yeah.
and then you can see that you've got loads of different sizes and
Yeah.
options. You're not stuck with, you just mix and match
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't they good?
And
Well,
that is for the layout. So
Yeah.
if you wanted to, when you're going with a larger one, you've got your layout, so you can see exactly.
Wow.
Do you see what I'm getting at?
Here's a question then.
So then that one's going to sit on that one.
Are we going into that, or is that coming out?
Depends entirely on what side
Perspective.
you work. If you
Look
want
at
to work
that.
at the back or the front.
Look at that. It looks like a tunnel going in, or it could be
Yeah,
a pyramid
it's a
coming
real
out.
good
Wow, isn't
exclusion.
that good?
So there you go. That's how they work,
Wow,
love.
love
Does that
that.
answer that question?
Yeah. And that so if I just bring this in again, this is
Yeah.
what I did at home.
Yeah.
And then it's
Yes.
just changed completely again, doing it in the black with that wonderful sticker across the side.
It pops more, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. And then that's such a good idea.
Yeah.
That is such a
And
good
it's
idea.
all using one
stamp.
little stamp.
Yeah.
And now we've shown an example of that one.
Yep.
And now we've shown an example. So you can see how useful these stamps are, just hours and hours. I've
They are.
always Dozy
Right. Do.
I've always felt when you buy stamps,
Yes.
it's like when the kids were little, you used to buy toys, and it would be like hour for hour, dollar for dollar. How much money am I spending on this toy?
Yes.
And how much time am I going to actually? Is it going to get used? And you know, when the kids were little, I don't know if you remember this toy, but it was about $40 or $50.
Yeah.
And it was a metal thing, and it went like that, and there were beads on it, and the beads went up and over, and there was a yellow piece of metal. It was like a wooden piece of board.
Yeah, and you had
and then
to.
you see them in the doctor's surgeries.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
That was voted pound for pound, dollar for dollar, the most useful toy for children. The most educated hand-eye coordination.
Wow.
Mhm.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Isn't that
Money well
interesting?
spent on that toy.
Yeah.
Always.
But they played with the box for the first 6 months.
Yes.
That's it.
Okay,
The more
that's
interest
that.
in the box, the more you used to play with it. Okay, so
That's my job.
have we got time for another demo?
We have,
Let's
darling.
do it. Let's do it. Okay.
Well,
so
you're the one that's got to navigate the M25, so it's your shout.
oh yeah, we've got ages. I'll be here all night. Yesterday they shut the tunnel and the bridge, so I didn't come that way.
You came.
So-
you didn't have to navigate that awful
No,
bridge.
I
that you
didn't
hate.
know, and they shut it. They closed it all down. So I think I might go back via Heathrow. So if anyone is planning to go on the M25 via Heathrow, could you not? Just to make it clear for me to get home. So I'd like to do a demo with the people, with the arty people.
Which ones?
I
love
the new
these.
ones.
Yeah,
the new
okay.
ones. So let me grab my stamp set for them,
Them.
and I'd like to use.
So you're going to use those.
your inky backgrounds. Is that okay?
I think that's a great idea. When you say inky backgrounds.
When I say inky backgrounds,
Oh,
yes, I
I
mean
know.
your
yeah, I've got them.
Barbara's
Hold on.
landscapes. Both at the same time.
So we've got
Barbara's landscapes.
bundle price. So we've got
Yes.
the toppers and tags.
Yep.
That's what you're looking at here.
Yes.
And then we've got the large 7x7s. So the bundle for both of them is 318. Sorry, darling.
It's all right.
31812.
Okay.
There you go.
The reason why I like these is because I love to do messy backgrounds. I love to chop it all up
Mhm.
and come back to it another day.
Mhm.
And I think these, if you're doing messy backgrounds like that, they're perfect backgrounds for all the stamps, because instantly you look at that and you start to see things. Is
Yeah.
it clouds? Is it hills? Is it trees? Is it the sea?
And when you look inside them, right, humour me here. I put
Yes.
mine in a folder.
Yeah.
Because I love, like, I would take your stamps now,
Yeah.
like that. Okay. And then I'm like, I've decided what stamp I want. And
Yeah.
then I start lining it up.
Yeah.
Am I using that one? Am I using that one? Am I using the small? Am I using?
Yeah.
I've gone to the trouble of putting them all in.
That's a really
there's
good
some-
idea.
And even though you think they look alike, they're all very different colorways.
Yeah.
There's a teal in there. There's an olive in there. There's a burgundy
that
in
one.
there. Yeah.
Love that one. Very
So-
good.
So they're good to have in a folder like that, an 8x8 folder.
And then you can just
Really
you
useful.
audition them, don't you?
Is that the one you've picked? Yeah, the back one.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah, that is good.
There you go. I think that was the original one that's on the front cover. Yours. Okay,
Yes,
well, there you go.
Okay, so
Let's have a look what you're
let me
gonna
think.
do then.
Right, so what I want to do, I need to mask off the edges because I'm going to be using the moon and the mountain masks,
Mhm.
but I don't want the ink going across the side. So first things first, I need to mask around it
Mhm.
so that if I do ink, it's still going to leave that crisp white edge.
Yeah.
So I think that's really important. Probably don't need to use tape down the bottom as such, but as an insurance policy for me and how messy I am, I'll always do that. And you can always
Yeah.
reuse that anyway. Or if you stamp over it, keep it to one side and use it like faux washi tape.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Cool.
that's that.
lovely.
Now, I want to get hold of the mountains. I'm going to use 2 for this. I'm not going to stamp first. I'm going to do this first. Let's just get that untwizzled. Where are we? That's on top. Hang on a minute. Let's untwist. There you go. Perfect. Right. So what I want to do, and I have to think about it, 'cause sometimes I have to think about these things. So I want to put that there,
Cool.
but I want to put, do I put the sun? No, I'm going to put the sun in. I'm going to do the sun afterwards.
Yeah.
So how much sky? Probably, I want a bit
White
of,
space is good.
yeah, I want a little bit of white space because the sun needs to go in there. So
Yeah.
I'm probably going to do
Yeah, good idea.
probably about there.
Yeah.
Probably about there. There's
Are
going
you
to be
going to use brushes?
well, there's going to be 2 mountains. There's that one there
Okay.
because I want to give the perspective
Yeah,
of
understood.
two hills. So I'm going to
Very
put that one
clever.
in at the same time.
Okay,
But this is the only thing I'm going to colour because I'm going to rely on your inky background as being part of one of the hills because I've got some green there.
Yeah,
They look like
nice.
they could be trees. So actually, thinking about that, I'm just going to move that up a little bit because they do look like trees. So
I like these masks.
oh, I love them. I love them. Love them. I'm going to put that probably about there. Okay.
Yeah.
So am I going to use brushes? Yes, I can. I can use either brushes or I can use sponges. Now I don't.
So can I just make a top tip?
Yep.
See that little tiny bit of white there?
I'm
I know.
coming. I'm just grabbing my brushes.
You got
Yeah.
them?
Yeah.
See that little bit of white there?
Yes.
When you do that, you might just
Yes.
catch that.
Yes.
So
of
why don't we
course.
just lower that down a
Please.
little bit like that?
Perfect.
There you
That's
go.
it. But sometimes that's the mistake I make. You see.
Mm.
So that's
Just
what we
got
need
to have
to
a
do.
look at your canvas. See that little bit there? That's also still a bit of the card, but you might cut it off anyway.
Yeah, I could do.
Or
But I'm only going to ink across that bit, and that's protected. That's
Yeah.
protected.
Yeah.
So I want to go, and you taught me this. If you're doing mountains, the one furthest away is going to be the lightest.
Cool.
It's going to be the lightest. So I'm going to get one of your brushes.
Right, top tip. If you've got something like this going
Yeah.
on, then you can always just
Cover it up.
because rather than waste more and more tape.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? All you got to do is just take that, stick that there, and then attach that, and then it doesn't
about-
matter if that's a foot long.
Yeah. Cool.
Do you see what I mean? It's covered
Yeah.
up now,
So I'm going to use Lost
and
Shadow.
you can check the colour on that. It's a bit of a
Yes.
scrap as well.
So if I do this with the brushes, now with the brushes,
Mm.
it's kind you kind of you take your time, don't you? Because you have to start building. So if
Yeah.
I just look at that, it's a very light colour. I'm sure this is the one I used. It's probably not
Lost
very juicy.
Shadow?
Yeah. So if I start to brush over that, I might
Yeah.
need a darker colour. To be fair.
Sometimes it's deceiving,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You're right.
and also those spot-on sponges. When you start bringing that in, that changes it too.
You see, I like the texture you've got in here because that could be the rocks in the mountain. It could
Yeah.
be some.
How did you manage to make it completely opaque there?
Because it was a slightly different
Mask.
card.
That's
It-
all right though. Yeah,
it was
doesn't matter.
it was a slightly this one
yeah,
was a slightly different background. There was more white
yeah, got you.
going through the middle. But I've chosen this one
Doesn't matter
because
does
you
it?
can still see
Yeah,
that we're building it up.
yeah. Do you want a darker colour?
Let's just see how this works first of all, because
Mm.
it might work really well,
Mm.
or a darker colour
Let me go
could
and
go
see
over
what
the
I've
top.
got.
Yeah. But I just wanted to do the lighter one because, like you say, it is deceiving.
Yeah,
And sometimes you don't want it overpowering the actual stamped image. You can see there it's starting to darken as we come in.
ding dong.
I can bring it in from the edges as well because it's the definition of the edges that I want. So let's just keep going with this. I'll actually pull it back in a moment so you can see. And it is, you're right, it is deceiving. It is deceiving. It's getting darker.
Is it?
Yeah. See?
It's getting darker outside. As well.
Let's close that bridge again, I think. I'll tell you what, let's have a look because you might find that it's worked. See?
Oh yeah, all right then. Don't peel it all off then.
Yeah. How dark is it outside? A little bit
Also,
more. A
If
little bit
you-
more.
Can I say?
Yep.
With that kind of ink, sometimes if you let it dry
Yeah,
and then you go back in leave it 5 minutes, then go again.
it gets darker.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. It jumps to the next
Yeah.
level.
It was just a suggestion I wanted in the
Well, it's definitely
background.
that.
It's certainly that. Okay.
And right, if you were to do that and then sweep in, you
Yes.
clean your mask nicely
Yeah.
too. And you'll find it accentuates the sharpness of the.
Defines the edge.
It
doesn't
does.
it?
That's the word.
Yeah.
Defines the edge.
There you go.
That's it. Smashing.
Beautiful. So that's that done.
Okay.
Now I could put the sun in, or I could leave the sun. So should we take it all off?
If you're going to put the sun in,
Yeah.
do you need to? Where's the other part of the? Do you use the other part of the mask?
Yeah.
Or how do you do it?
Yeah. So if I take this off,
Yes.
take that off.
Good.
Take that off now, which is fine. So it
Nice.
has defined it. You can
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
it is a mountain. And
It's
there you go. So it's nice.
lovely.
It's subtle, but it's nice.
Subtle.
So yes,
It
if I,
actually is lovely though.
if I was going to put the sun in, I do need the other part of that particular mask, which is down here because I've got a lot of them.
I'm
so
glad
I
you
need-
like them.
Yeah, oh, I do. I love them. And I love
So those masks,
Yeah.
which ones are we looking at? Just let's have a look at the front page.
the one of the masks.
It's
here.
the Scenescapes with Mini Moons.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
So you've got lots of choice here. Mountains. You've got the houses, the clouds. You've got the castle,
Very
and then you've got
nice.
lots and lots of moons. You can see I've got lots in here. So I
Yeah.
need to find, which I should have done before I started this. Here you go. So it's that one there, isn't it?
Yeah. It's only if you go. It's that,
It's that
bit.
one. Yeah.
If you're going to use the moon, then you do need to.
See, I was going to do that, and then I was
Yeah.
going to choose.
And then
The
you've got
moon.
the other part of the.
I want this. So I'm creating the moon, so I need to do that.
You
don't I?
do. Yes.
But I'm having it
Fabulous.
just come over the mountain like that.
Nice.
But that's quite dark there. That almost looks like a moon, doesn't it, in
Mm.
itself? So I might want to move that and have it elsewhere where it's a little, where we've got more white to play
Yeah,
with. So the
More
colour takes.
contrast.
Yeah. So the colour takes. So let's take that off. Here's a good place,
Yep.
or there's a good place.
There's a good.
I think so. So let's have about there. Okay,
Cool.
excellent. And then I want to go for, again, I'm using what I've got. Okay,
Yeah.
so I've got scattered
this is
straw,
That's a great one
Yeah.
to go with the background.
which
'cause you-
works well.
Otherwise, it'd be too dark, won't it?
So what
with
I'm
your
going to do
subtle,
with
your
this-
subtle mountains.
I'm going to use a little one of those. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Just for now.
You
Okay,
just got to
so
be careful you don't go beyond the mask, haven't you?
yeah, so I'm going to go with that. I'm just going to go around there, just lightly first of all.
Yeah. Nice.
Just
They're quite good, aren't they?
yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so that's that.
That'll do.
It's nice.
Nice.
Then I want to add a bit of that,
Okay. Do you
just to
think
make
so?
it, yeah, just to make it like just on the side there,
Yeah.
just to add a bit of interest. That's all.
Cool.
That's
Moon
all.
shadow. Moon shadow.
No, this is the sun.
Oh right. Sunshine. Sunshine.
What you like? What you like? Okay, this just helps me lift them off. Let's just lift that off. See, nice and crisp.
Very good.
Nice and crisp. Let's pop that back on there, and then I'll take this one off because
That
we've
looks so
created
nice.
that thing. Yes, it could have
Love
been
it.
darker, but I want to bring out, the style that's in the paper. So let's just put that over there.
Do you know if you wanted to make it? Do you want me to just keep my mouth shut?
No, go on. If I want to make it darker,
Get the
please
mask
do.
again,
Okay,
because it's never not the bit that you've just. It's the bit that the
that bit or the other bit?
is this the bit from the? No, I want the
No,
other
the
bit.
other bit. Here you go.
Right. If you give me that bit,
Turn it the other
right,
way.
turn it the other way.
Yeah.
If you pop that back there now,
Yeah.
excuse my head for a minute, right? But if you just did that, just lightly, like you got to get it in the right place. That's the thing.
Done it.
Once you've moved it,
Yeah.
right. So once you've done that,
Yeah.
nothing's written in stone. You don't have to settle. If you think I really wish that I'd done that darker, right? Then all you've got to do. The thing about these are they are repositionable, aren't
Yeah.
they? So no, it's not that one. It's this one, right? I honestly think if a job's worth doing,
Do it well.
my thoughts on this are do it well.
So,
So if
do
we're
we go
gonna
for a
back-
darker blue?
if you were to go like so,
Yep.
right, let's put that back like that. Right, and then have you got a black? Have you got any sort of a dry old brush? Dry brushing, it's called.
No.
Right, look, I'll show you.
Okay.
So we'll just put this on there like so.
And you're going to use black?
It's grey.
Yeah.
Look, it's almost
Okay.
nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it is pretty much dry brushing.
Okay.
And then what you're going to do is just sweep from the top.
As it
just
is.
keep sweeping from the top. Yeah, just sweep. Just keep.
Yeah, look at that. It's getting darker.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So when you do that, you're just going to get the nice contrast. And if you sweep from the top and it's dry brushing, now stop for a minute and let's have a look what we've done. Let's see if we prefer it, whether we're getting a bit more. Yeah, there you
yeah,
go.
that's
All
better.
right, are you
Much
happy
better.
now?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Right, see, so you don't have to settle.
Yeah.
You know, I know I say, oh, keep going, but then again, that's never going to get darker. It doesn't matter how long you wait.
Yeah.
Look, doesn't that look?
See, that's
there,
better.
You're happier now.
That's better.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Are you happier?
I'm much happier.
Okay.
Sometimes it helps to be a perfectionist. Sometimes it's the bane of my life.
Oh, me too.
Hmm?
Trust me, I'm the
Hmm.
same. So we've got these stamps. So we've got the two different
Fantastic.
style. I'm going to use this one. So I am going to use a small amount this time and pop that on there. Okay. So I'm going
Cool.
to use VersaFine Clair and I'm going to dab over that.
This is going to look.
Do you know
so
what I love?
cool.
When you get new stamps and you get them home, you put the
Yeah.
ink on for the first time. Don't you love it when all the artwork suddenly appears before your eyes? It's like
Yeah.
magic.
Yes.
It's like magic.
It is playtime, isn't it?
Okay, so I'm going to put those. I could put them outside.
Can
but
I,
want to
before you
keep-
do that, just being a pain in the neck, right? Do you want to test it on a piece of paper first?
Do you want me to?
I would say that's not a bad idea,
Why would you do that?
only because you haven't used that stamp today. So
Okay.
you want to kind of warm it up, if you know what I
Okay.
mean.
Okay.
Make sure that you've got the pressure right. Make
Yeah.
sure that you're happy with it. It might be perfect, but it's better to be safe.
Good
than-
idea.
It's frustrating. if
Like when you
do
used to
it.
warm the engine before you
You
got in
know
the
what I
car.
mean?
Yeah.
Just see, I always find the second ink is always better.
Yeah. Do you remember the days of the choke?
To choke the engine. You flooded it.
You flood. There you go.
There you go. Lovely.
Yeah.
So now you know it works.
Yeah.
That's ready for another piece of artwork
Perfect.
down the
Do
road.
you know what? It's a good idea actually. And if you do it on the, rather than doing it on a scrap piece of paper, if you
Mm.
do it on something like that, like you
Yeah,
say, it's
and
a
it's
piece
ready
of
for
art-
another
it's
piece of
ready-
artwork.
Yeah.
I
Good little tip.
I always do it.
Good little tip.
Always. Because
Good
you
little
think,
tip.
oh well, she knows what she's doing. It's not even about that.
Good little tip.
It's about just making sure.
Okay, let's just go in there. Okay, I've committed. Let's do that. Let's put that on here.
It's always usually better on the second inking.
Yeah. Do you clean your stamps, Barbara, in between?
Only if I'm using coloured ink. If I'm using black, I don't bother. Every now and again, I'll take some isopropyl alcohol to it just to clean it.
That sounds medical.
IPA, rubbing alcohol. Yeah.
Yeah, I use sometimes I've got alcohol wipes,
Mm.
biodegradable, of course.
They
There
work.
you go. Oh, missed a head off, but that's okay. I'm not going to go and stamp that again. I'm
Don't
gonna
go
use-
over it.
no,
Get
no, no.
over it.
Yeah, I'm going to use a micron pen.
Absolutely
I'm
perfect.
Just going to put that head in. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Let's just do that.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
one.
Okay,
Perfect.
perfect. Look at that. Now, adding a sentiment on
Yes.
here, I can again use
it.
maybe a sticker, or I could use a sentiment. Some
You could use a
bonds.
sentiment, or you could use. We've got some really. Let me show you these stickers
Yeah,
and see what you think.
let me have a look at the
Where did I
stickers
put
because
them?
they might work. I'm going to
You
take
might
this off in
love
between.
these stickers.
Okay.
Right, so these are pretty grungy word block ones. Do you want to have a look?
Yeah.
I think a black
Ooh,
sticker. These
okay.
are pretty.
Well, I thought
Look.
of going around the edge with like a little stitch,
Yes.
but what's that? I like. Is that a sticker there? That dotted line.
That's a dotted line. Yeah, that's a sticker.
What do you think?
Look. Isn't that cool?
I wonder.
Oh yeah. Doesn't that look good? Oh, look at that.
But I'd need to cut it, would I not?
Yeah.
Do I cut it before, or should I do it?
Offer
now,
it up and then.
am I going to do it underneath? Put the sentiment there, or shall I do it the size of the frame? Should I do it the size of the frame? What do you think?
It's your artwork. All
Oh,
we have is now. Do you like that one?
yeah,
Is it too big?
too big. Hang on. What have we got? Travel gently. No.
What about these ones? Are they a bit more
Health,
Um,
wealth, from me to you. Oh, there's so many to choose
Sending
from.
love to you from my special friend.
No, I like these ones.
You like the grungy ones?
Yeah, I like those.
If I could roll back time, I
Happy
would find you
place.
happy place.
Yeah, because that's a group of people walking into their happy place.
Nice.
Now, where would you put that at the top?
Where do you think?
If we're going to have this on there,
There.
there,
Don't you think that looks good?
commit.
Do you want me to do it?
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Hang on, I've got to get my head over it so I
Okay.
can. Don't want to make it crooked. Although you
Ah,
can
look
peel
at
it.
that.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Does it?
I love
Does
that.
it need that?
No.
I don't
You
think
could
it
make a
does.
sign, couldn't you? You could make it like a
Very good idea. Very good idea.
like with a ruler.
How long are you going to make the sign? All the way down to the people, or just like a little sign underneath?
You could
All-
go all the way down to
the
that
people.
hill.
All the way down to
How
that
about
hill.
that? You might go, you've ruined my creation.
How very dare. Well, what you could do, you could test it by putting it, but no. Okay, let's do that. All the way down to the. Do you want it
No,
straight?
straight-ish.
Straight.
Well, you do it. It's your.
Okay,
I keep saying it's your artwork, then I'll
Okay,
tell you what to do.
straight. Okay, down to the hill.
Why don't you try it?
What? Go for it.
Down to that hill there.
Okay,
Hey?
ready?
Yeah?
Down to that hill there, and then across. Down to that hill there, and then a little bit of grass. That's
Yeah.
too thick, that one. A little bit of grass. or
Yeah.
not? Yeah.
Looks like that. You know that film where where the hooter went and then all the people like zombies all went down. Did you ever see that one? I can't remember the name.
The
of it.
hooter went.
Yeah, this big siren would sound off, and then everybody would start. They'd go into a trance and start walking.
Oh, yes. What was that? Oh, yeah.
Really unnerving. A little bit like what's happening now.
Oh, do you know what would be nice on that? A little bird. A
That's.
little bird on the top. If we got
Have
one
you
of
got a
those,
bird in yours?
I have got. What about tiny little bird? I don't know if this is going to work. Mask off, tiny little
Oh,
bird.
you really
Shall we
are.
try?
You like a challenge, don't you?
I do. Right,
Why don't you just draw a bird?
Yeah, could do. Let's just draw a little bird then. Little bird
Hey.
on here.
Or I could have a look in my little box of tricks. I bet I've got some birds.
There you go, little cartoon bird. Little
There
cartoon
you
bird.
are.
There
I
you
knew
go.
you could.
There you go. There you go. We don't need that.
Oh, yeah,
but I
your
could have
little
used the
face.
stamp. I could have used the stamp. Okay, do we want the stitchy detail around the outside, or do we want it left as it is?
I think stitchy detail.
Do you think
great.
so?
Doesn't this look good?
It does look good. I like it. Or a squiggly line.
Squiggly line.
Do you think so?
Try it different. Try something different. So we've got
Squiggly
the
line.
contrast.
Now with squiggly lines, you've just got to go for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you've just got to do it. So squiggly
Oh,
line.
that's very squiggly, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, let's just go for it.
But then
Let's throw caution to the wind.
come back up and just do another one on it, because I always think two look better than one.
That's what I've heard.
and then you could write little words. So you could put home up there, you could put love there, you
Cool.
could put
Do you do journaling?
happy, no,
Well, this
down
is
there.
perfect for journaling, isn't
Do
it?
like a couple of kisses down there,
I love it.
squiggles, and don't think too much about it.
No. Isn't that super?
See, so something that's just like double line squiggle actually
I
doesn't
love
look that
I tell
bad.
you what, I love the sign that you've made.
do like that.
Doesn't that look good?
And then so you've got both of those
Yeah.
using your background.
Okay,
That
all
one
right.
does look more opaque because there was more of a white space.
Yeah. But
But
it
I
does
like-
look smashing.
But I like that as well.
Look how that's come out. Because we used the black archival,
Yeah,
it came out nice, didn't it?
it's just something a little bit different.
I
Great
love
for
it.
journaling.
I love it. And
Great
these are
for
the
journaling.
stamps,
And those are the
which
stamps.
I think are the best thing since sliced bread.
Oh, I do like them.
Mm-hmm. They're
I do
great.
like them. And they came from a good place.
And where's that? I did it on a leaf. I did it on a leaf. Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
And it
I
came
do.
out so nice. There they
it
are.
is.
Look, even just on a leafy
Isn't
background,
that lovely?
it looks so nice, doesn't
Yeah.
it? When you go
Let me take that
just
away.
in there
Look at
like that, just a leaf with a
Yeah.
couple of people.
What I like about it, and I
Mm.
don't want to harp too much about, genders and things like that.
Mm.
But I think it's important because you can have two dads, you can have two mums.
Yeah.
It's not always a dad and a mum.
No. And they could be either and all.
Exactly. So they're genderless, I guess,
Yes,
as it is.
I agree with you.
And I like that.
Completely.
I like
They're just human beings, aren't
Yes.
they?
Yeah.
Humans.
And so, you know, you can use them in so many different ways.
Yeah, I love them. I love them, Janice. So there you go.
Nice.
Well done.
I like that. Very good. Oh, look at the time. Look at the time. I know.
Yeah, time to call it a day.
I like those two.
They're really good.
Yeah, yeah. And
They're
lots
really
for me to take back and think about and progress and move forward.
Yeah, well, you coming along. I mean, your artwork is, I learned from you as well. Do you know what I learned from you as well? It's that have a go, just go for it.
Straight in.
Straight in. Oh, squiggly. She meant it.
I did. Straight
when
in.
she says squiggly, she means squiggly. Thank you so much for coming down,
thanks
Janice.
for asking me, and thanks for your time as well. And thank you for enjoying my stamps. And I love to see all of your artwork. So keep sharing, because every time I open Facebook and there's another picture on there, I'm just like, wow.
So tell me, when can we see you again?
Okay, I'm going to be on Hobby Maker on July the 22nd.
Date for the diary?
7 p.m.
7 p.m. in the evening,
7
July
p.m.
the 22nd.
I'm going to Doncaster, and that's going to be the 13th and 14th.
Is that the race course?
That's at the race course. Yeah. So I've got a little stall, just me.
We just put all the grid work in, in the car.
Setting up on Friday, and then it's Saturday and Sunday. And if you want tickets for that, can I say, you can use Janice50 as a code and you'll get 50% off. How about that?
Wow, there you go then.
Yeah, you just go to the website to buy those.
So we got Doncaster.
We've
got Hobby Maker. You're going places here, girlfriend.
And in between, I'm off to Switzerland to see the girls playing the Euros. So
marvelous.
Yeah, I kind of sandwiched all of that. So
and what's your website?
I don't know what I'm going to be like after July. Oh yeah, timestampcreations.com is my website.
There you go.
Yeah.
So it's all available here and it's all available there.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
Thanks, Barbara.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
And so I'm off on my jollies with Sam Crow on Monday.
Yes.
But before we go, on Sunday, Paul and myself will be keeping you company and we'll be launching 10 days of groovy 10-year celebrations.
It's going to be amazing.
So thanks very much for joining us. Cheers, Janice.
Thank you.
Lots of love to you. Enjoy the sunshine if it is shining. Enjoy it if it's shining. Drink lots of water. Stay cool. And we'll see you next time.
See you.